Good to go?
Okay.
Okay, it's 1:08. I'm going to call the June 2nd Board of Commission meeting to order. Today, we're going to have the prayer by Commissioner Stella, followed by the pledge by Commissioner Lee.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather in a free country. We're grateful, Lord, for the weather that you provide for us. We ask, Lord, that maybe you would send some rain this way to get our crops going. And we're also grateful for the folks that work for the county and the fellowship that we had today at the picnic that we had. And also, Lord, we ask you would be with us during our meeting, allow us to make sound and thoughtful decisions for our friends and neighbors. In your son's most precious name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Leslie, roll call, please.
District 1 Chairman John Black.
Present.
District 2 Commissioner Roger Ballard.
Present.
District 3 Commissioner Gary Heberling.
Here.
District 4 Commissioner Bill Sarkella.
Here.
District 5 Commissioner Christine Lee. Present. District 6 Commissioner Evans Ehart.
Here.
District 7 Commissioner John Moody.
Here.
Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
At this time, we'll entertain a motion to approve our agenda as presented.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Ballard, supported by Commissioner Lee to adopt the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Agenda is adopted. Next up would be the approval of our meeting minutes from May 19th. I'll entertain a motion to approve. I have a motion by Commissioner Heberling, supported by Commissioner Ehart to approve our meeting minutes from May 19th. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. You have received your correspondence from Jody through email the other day. We're going to move into commissioner reports, and we will start with Commissioner Moody.
Last night at the Village of Melvin. They're considering, or not considered, they're voted on Dawes Excavating to replace a culvert inside the village limits. They're gonna be doing some road crack repair and some asphalt repairs inside the village. They renewed their property and liability insurance. And they voted on a land split for the Melvin Tavern, the owner that owns the next two properties to the south of the Melvin Tavern, and he's gonna do some land splitting there. And that's it for Village of Melvin. On the 20th, I had Worth Township. They voted on a new cleaning service for their building, leasing a new Toshiba copying machine. They're gonna purchase a couple of new computers and monitors. They had did a 2-year contract with the Village of Lexington for DPW work because they used to have 2 DPW workers, and Worth Township has none now. They're putting a new street light on above 25 at Joy Street. Doing some security and Wi-Fi updates. Security cameras and Wi-Fi updates in the village or in the township office. All of their workers received a $5 an hour raise from $20 to $25 an hour. And they hired Sue Dobson to do some part-time work with them during election time. And that's about it for Worth Township. Then I had Fremont Township on the 28th. They're having a chalk art contest on, actually it's a Saturday. Working on some culverts, replacing that Todd Road and Comstock Road. They appointed a couple people to new planning commission. Scott Westbrook was appointed and Dennis Collins was appointed to their ZBA. They're doing some ditch work on Comstock Road, renewed some CDs, and they decided to go ahead with the PA 233 lawsuit. And so far they've spent $5,200. And that's all I have.
Thank you, John. Evans?
Enough to report.
Okay. John mentioned that one of his townships is continuing on in that Public Act 233 litigation that we're staying with here at the county. Marion Township in my district is also going to be doing that. And I plan on reaching out and having a conversation with the rest of my townships about that issue, so I can report back on that. That's all I have. Christine?
Brown City's gonna have their festival, which starts June 7th through the 14th. They're gonna be celebrating 150 years. Also, I got to work the state track meet this weekend. There was 4,977 athletes.
Wow.
At 4 sites in Grand Rapids and 1 site up in the UP. We had athletes from Croswell, Deckerville, CPS, Peck, Brown City, and Marlette that qualified to go to state. And out of those, Brown City had Kylan Mulholland in the 100 meter dash, placed 4th. Carson Burgess placed 8th in the 1600 meter run. In the long jump, Lawson Cooper placed 7th. And in the pole vault, Lila Woodall placed 8th. And from Marlette, Julius Johnson placed 6th in the shot put. He also placed 8th in the discus. Marlette's 4x4 relay team of Braden Kirkpatrick, Nino Prena, Gabe Williams, and Luke Thomas placed 3rd. And in the pole vault, Alexandra Finley placed 3rd. And my husband got to start the meet. I was one of the clerks. And we had to hand out numbers for certain race. And they said, you put it on your left chest. And they kind of looked at you. I said, you put that number in your right hand. And you go, I pledge allegiance, and it'll be in the right spot. And that's all I have to report. It was a great day.
Very good. Thank you, Christine. Bill?
We'll never say the pledge the same now after this.
Where's my number?
Number 1, Roger. Carsonville, there was discussion on some brownfield property. They might be dealing with a former Bacchus Oil property. They have a new president and the council members there as well. Zoning discussion, and they did hire someone for the DPW. Applegate, their big discussion last night was around a petition that's been filed to have to dissolve the Applegate Village and have Washington Township take over. So there's a lot going on with that. Leslie's had some conversation. I know Nathan's been involved with that as well. This is a new thing for the state. It was done once elsewhere, but then didn't go through. So a lot of working pieces in that we'll probably be discussing in the future. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Bill. Gary?
Thank you. Last night I attended the Sandusky City Council meeting, and in that I gave my monthly report, and also Jill Rowley from Waste Management was there, and she's been working with the city manager and looking at getting recycle containers downtown. And I don't know if they were talking about how many, but I think they were like $25 or $26 for the months made through September. So the city manager couldn't make it, so I don't think they made a decision on that. Tomorrow night I have more township meeting, and tonight was Watertown, but that was canceled. It's rescheduled for Thursday night. And my report.
Thank you, Gary. Roger?
Last week I attended Evergreen Township meeting. If you recall, last November, I connected Leah Lentz from Med Control with Evergreen Township. She came to their meeting and she brought a representative from Aspire. They had questions about what Med Control, what the millage did for them, and she was there to explain that. And we're aware of a lack of service. It's kind of a dead zone up there. Jonathan from Aspire Healthcare Ambulance came to their last meeting, and he is proceeding with a plan to present to Aspire. He's talked to the Argyle/Evergreen Township fire people. They're on board to put an ambulance there. So there's some details to work out with MMR because they have a contract with them till the end of the year, which would give them time to maybe get a plan together. So hoping that works, and glad I could be a small part of that to help that out.
So they're actually considering putting a unit
In Evergreen Township.
I mean, that's a huge improvement over the service that they've had.
Yeah.
So,
It is. They've had hour-long waits for ambulance up there, different times. So that's great for them. They increased their election inspector wages from $250 to $300 for the chair, from $200 to $250 for inspectors. They approved a chip seal on a section of Decker Road and building a section of Chabona Road and approved their road grinding. Their planning commission is working on data center zoning. And they heard some complaints from residents regarding some work that was done in ditches and kind of eliminated a farmer's driveway into his field or made it so it wasn't really usable. So they're working on getting that taken care of. Last night I was in the city of Marlette. They had a public hearing on the Headley and MCL 211.34 rollback, which increases operating revenues by 2.71%. They approved that. And they had a public hearing on their proposed budget for 26-27. The millage rate is 15.5327, and they approved that budget. There's a little bit of discussion on some proposed changes to the marijuana ordinance, kind of in anticipation of if that issue passes on the ballot. That's an ongoing discussion. Gets a little bit of kickback from a couple of members. They passed resolutions on a new wage scale, fee schedule, and poverty exemption. They approved water tower cleaning and inspection. And they approved striping, stenciling, and seal coat bids for public parking areas. And they discussed the city manager performance review process, which they will be working on. And they also approved the MDOT contract for the Concord and Cranbrook Streets project that they got a grant on. So other than that, they made 2 appointments to the ZBA. So that's it.
Okay, thank you, Roger. Appreciate everyone's commissioner reports. I gotta say, the sun must be out because everybody's looking more tan than what we've heard in the last few months, which is
Blood pressure.
Is that what it is? You're stressed?
Oh, yeah.
Very good. Nathan, your administrator report, please.
Yes, thank you. As you guys are aware, last week I attended conference, a variety of interesting topics. Networking is always probably one of the most valuable parts of it, but a couple topics that I think are things we've discussed that are going to continue to affect government and our way of life. They talked about AI in the workplace, it's everywhere you go, AI. They talk about it. They talk about making sure staff are prepared to utilize it appropriately. It can be a bit dangerous. And that was one of the things they cautioned. You don't want to just leave staff to their own devices because potentially you have issues where county information, stuff that shouldn't be getting out there is getting out there. So you have to make sure that training is underway for staff. It's something that Scott and I have talked about. Scott, our IT director, a couple times, and he's got some ideas. So it's something that I've also shared with department heads. I know I don't think it's heavily used in the county, but it's just going to continue to, especially with I think our younger generation of employees. We're gonna, as people come in, we're gonna continue to see they're gonna be more well versed in that probably just because they're growing up with it. So
in that realm, Nathan, as we think about the possibility of employees using AI, I mean, are we at the point where it's time to start to look at a policy related to the usage of it so that there's defined rules?
Yeah, it probably is, because one of the things I talked to Scott about is there's ways you can use AI and there's ways that you can use it without sharing information. And then there's ways AI uses that information you put out there to help answer other people's questions. Well, if you're putting information out there specifically about Sanilac County, it might pull that and it might have information that you don't want, out that isn't for the public. So I think it's probably time that we start to look at how we can handle that for employees and put some parameters in place. So they had a lot of discussion on some of the dam failures with some of the northern counties, but really that bled into emergency management and responses, and then getting a hold of state government. And then if the federal government's involved, and Red Cross, and alerting your residents. So some valuable discussion. I mean, dam failures aren't something we'll see here. Flooding is probably a long shot, but
With that, obviously, there's other things that can happen here, as we saw a tornado hit last year. Could have been pretty catastrophic due to the timing if that would have went through Deckerville during homecoming, but it just kind of missed. So different types of things could happen here. And Greg and I just had Greg Holman, a discussion yesterday about that. And when we gotta kind of pull the lever that we've got an emergency, what that looks like, who's involved and everything so he said that he agrees we should probably focus in on that and have a discussion with you as a board chair about that here in the near future. We're going through open enrollment right now for employee health insurance. That kicked off last week, so we're in that time frame. I talked to a couple of you guys recently. We're gonna have to look at our gazebo out there. We replaced a couple boards. We've got some concerns. I think I'm gonna take that to the Building and Grounds Committee to see how we want to handle the aging gazebo and maybe some work that needs to be done or some modifications that need to be made to that. So
Nathan, can I just butt in real quick? Mr. Ballard and Commissioner Block and I looked at that. There's a little bit more discussion there.
Okay.
I'm not sure we're at that point. We need to replace anything.
Yeah, okay. So that's good. And I got an inquiry from the city of Lexington, their village manager, in regards to some concerns about putting a truck route through. They're worried about pedestrian traffic with trucks turning onto up 19 onto 25. And I told them that would be a discussion you'd have to have with the road commission. But obviously they said there's a tight corner there and pedestrian traffic is a priority for them. So I pointed them in the direction of, and he asked for the email for Rob Falls. So we'll see where that discussion goes. Last thing, just wanted everybody to note, if you haven't been down to the Watertown solar site in a little bit, it's worth taking a drive. It looks different. They're putting in, the building department had noted they're putting in about 500 to 1,200 poles daily into the ground. So they're really moving. And I drove past there Thursday night and looked out and was shocked at the number of poles out there in the field. So you can actually see it from 19. I'm sure Gary sees it all the time in his commute. So it's changed the appearance, and it's going to change it even more when they get the solar units on top of the poles, I guess. So yeah, it's worth taking a drive. All right, that's all I have.
Go ahead.
He was talking about AI. There was a clip on the news yesterday morning, I think. One guy did a movie, a full feature movie using AI by himself. Cost him $2,000, and they showed clips and it was unreal. $2,000, and apparently it's going to be released. And so I thought, my first thought was, well, tickets should be 25 cents a piece.
Right.
Probably not.
Last, right?
Yeah. But it's pretty interesting. I'm not techie at all, but
You don't have to be for AI. You really don't.
Yeah.
You get that ChatGPT and just tell it what you want to do and it does it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be techy. It's crazy.
Is that gonna bring out the best in us, or is it gonna bring out the worst in us?
Yeah, a little bit of column B.
Yeah. Very good. Does anybody have any questions for Nathan on his report?
No.
Okay, good report, Nathan. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna move on. Is there any public comments pertaining to today's agenda? I entertain public comments pertaining to the agenda today. Seeing none, we're gonna move on. Next up, we have a presentation by Degree Forward. We have Laura Palega here. Laura, welcome.
Thank you.
We like to keep presentations between 10 and 15 minutes, but if you're ready, come on up and
That's good. Thank you.
share with us what you have.
Well, thank you for having me. I work for a nonprofit organization called Degree Forward. And the organization started in the Metro Detroit area. And about 3 years ago, they hired me and introduced it to the Thumb. Degree Forward is helping residents in the Thumb area obtain or finish or start college degrees. We live in a education, a post-secondary education desert in the thumb of Michigan where we have no brick and mortar colleges. And so we are affiliated, Degree Forward and Degree Forward Thumb area are affiliated with Southern New Hampshire University. And they have created a competency-based program that allows people living wherever to earn that associate's and or bachelor's degrees. So the program is available to anyone in the state of Michigan, but is supported in the Detroit area and here in the Thumb by employees that are affiliated with Degree Forward. And it looks like I'm one short. I'm sorry about that. But we're excited to be able to bring this to the Thumb because I have 20 students right now enrolled in the program, and I'm going to have 11 graduates in June. June 25th, we're going to host a graduation ceremony in Southfield. But the exciting part is that people that are finishing their degrees with us, we're not exporting them. So we're keeping them in our rural communities, and they're finding better jobs, upskilling their opportunities, and staying here. So we offer a competency-based program that is $3,437.50 per term. It's an 18-week term, and it is eligible for Pell Grant and for another grant called SEOG grant, which is for people that are low income, and it stacks on top of Pell. So, and it's also eligible for student loans. It's not eligible for state funding, but it is eligible for federal funding. And so many of our students pay $537 a term once they have their Pell and the SEOG grant that's taken off. And so it's very low cost if they're eligible for those grants. They can earn as many credits in a 18-week term as they are able to. So there's no cap on how many credits you can earn. So we have students that come to us with they've started their college degrees, they've returned home for whatever reason. Maybe they ran out of money, maybe college wasn't for them, they returned to a family farm or business. So many of my students have some college and no degree. And that equates to oftentimes debt, no piece of paper to go along with it, and kind of stuck in a rut of not being able to upskill their income level. So in many cases, I'm helping get people to the finish line, earn those degrees, finish something that they started, and do it very economically while they're here, living in their own homes, living in our communities, being the working parents that they are, and not having to travel. In my case, to Delta is where most people from my side of the Thumb go to. Over here, it could be St. Clair. Maybe they're still traveling to Delta, maybe going off to, Mott or someplace a little bit more southern. But it's an opportunity that's bringing college and a college landscape to the Thumb area. I work on both the recruitment and enrollment side as well as the coaching side. So I meet students where they're at. I use our local libraries, coffee shops. I help them fill out FAFSA. I'm a certified FAFSA, in filling out FAFSA and helping students. I also am their academic coach. So if they get stuck on, we call them projects. So a project is equal to 1 college credit. Our classes are 3 credits, but they're competency based. So each class is broke down to 3 competencies. And every time a student masters a competency with 90% or better, once it's reviewed by the people at Southern New Hampshire University, they've actually earned a college credit. So it's a bit of instant gratification because as they master these projects, they find the momentum to keep going because it gives them that instant gratification of I've accomplished something. And so as they earn these college credits, they're earning a bundle of 3 is a 3-credit college class. It's fully accredited and, it's recognized as a legitimate degree. It's not a Mickey Mouse degree. It's for real. And we've had people go on and get master's degrees from Southern New Hampshire University's program. We've had people get PhDs. And we have people that start in the associate's program and stop. We have people that roll from the associate's program into the bachelor's program and stop. It's their choice. We have 6 start dates throughout the year. So when someone shows us interest, we always have an upcoming start date that will get them enrolled and be able to allow them to not change their mind or find, one of a million excuses why now is not the right time. Because there's proof to showing that if you have interest and you get rolling right away, you're more likely to stay than putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. So you can't do 6 terms in a year. You can only do 3, but they overlap. So we have one starting in June, but my March students are, they're ending, and another one starting, but then they overlap. So I have 2 groups going at one time, earning, working on their projects and earning their credits. So I'm really here today to let you all know that I have developed partnerships with the Huron EDC, the Sanilac Economic Development Corporation, the Tuscola EDC, and then the Huron ISD and the Community Foundation are also on board. And so it's really important when I'm doing my work to have credible organizations to get my foot in the door, to speak to employers, to speak to, groups, philanthropy groups or community groups, because the more people that know about us, the more people we can get enrolled. And I think kind of our goal for Sanilac County by the end of the year is to have 5 students enrolled from Sanilac County that can be, working toward a degree and hopefully staying in your county to live, work, and spend their money and raise their family and keep their children in our schools. So I'm excited to say I have one student that lives in Marlette that she's going to be starting in the June term. So we already are down to maybe only needing 4 more applicants. We are excited to be working on a grant right now. It's a rural development distance learning grant. The Degree Forward is hoping to apply for. We have there's a 15% match that grant is looking for. So if any of you know any ways for us to get some contributions for the matching grant, we'd like to apply for $100,000. And that distance learning is going to bring opportunities for computers for students, maybe video equipment, maybe some space. Maybe we would even be able to secure some space in Sanilac County where I could come and spend some time with students, or even spend a day a week or maybe every other week where we could do some recruitment and enrollment stuff. So we're just trying to keep our options open and recruit as many students that maybe started and didn't finish, or have the desire to start a college program and get them to the finish line. So this is just it has a QR code on the back that leads to an interest form. Anybody that scans the interest form, it comes right to me. And then I just reach out to the potential student and chat with them, ask them if they'd like to meet me in person. I work with them wherever the case may be, and then we connect, and then I work on the application if they're ready for that. Help them fill out their FAFSA and make sure that we are retrieving any transcripts from any other schools that they attended. Because we don't want anyone to start from scratch. If they've acquired credits, SNHU has a registrar's office just like every other college. They review the transcripts, and then oftentimes they're granting them credits to continue to roll into the program and not have to retake any classes. So does anyone have any questions for me?
I just have one, Laura. Have you interfaced with Sanilac Career Center at all?
I have, is Dwayne still there?
No.
Okay. No. Okay. So I have spoken with some people that are probably not the right people, some instructors there, but yes, that is on my list. And I know that there was a new superintendent for the ISD this year. And so this summer, I'm hoping that everybody has had their chance to get settled in their jobs, that I can go and do a pitch to them, because I am working very closely with the Huron ISD. One of the other avenues that's really cool is that now it's not great, but it's the reality. We have a critical teaching shortage in the state of Michigan, and you don't have to now have an undergrad in education to become a teacher. But if you have an undergrad of any sort, you can start a teacher prep program. And so this is an opportunity that the ISDs, because it can get some people into the teaching programs because they have a bachelor's degree. And this can be a quick way to a bachelor's degree to get some people that are interested in earning an education and certification as the next step. So, anything else?
Any further questions? Seeing none, we certainly appreciate your time.
Thank you for your time. And if anyone has any place that they'd like me to do a presentation or reach out to me to reconnect, I'd be happy to come back over.
Have
Okay,
you
thank you.
connected with any high schools?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely have. I definitely work with the counselors and they often send me students that haven't quite made a decision yet. So,
I know one young man, he just graduated and he wants to be a teacher
yeah.
and he wants to go to Central,
Mhm.
but financially it may not happen. So he's talking about going to community college.
Yeah, and community college is a great fit for people. As we all know, they're advertising that there's no cost to community colleges if you live in district. And if you don't live in district, it's not free.
Right.
So this opportunity could be the right fit and almost as good of an opportunity to start an associate's in general studies as a community college. It's not free for our students because they don't live in district. So, all right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know that part. I thought it was all free. I'm using that address.
There's always a catch.
Yeah. All right, well, that's going to conclude presentations today. I see the need for appointments to standing committees, chair appointments. We have no resolutions, so we're going to end up rating committee reports. We're going to start with Commissioner Ballard today.
We aren't ready yet.
Yeah, I don't have my glasses, so it takes me a little. No, I don't want them things. Had a CMH board meeting last week. As of April, over 2,000 individuals sought treatment at Semi County CMH. Previously would have been the annual total. And that is a result of becoming a certified community behavioral health clinic, CCBHC for short. And the number of children receiving care has doubled. So it's just, insurance isn't an issue. Anybody that goes in there and wants services can get services. They get evaluated and determine if they need care and go from there. So that's a good thing.
That increase to that, I'm not going to butcher it, but the CHBC.
CCBHC. I do it every time and I have to have it printed in front of me so I know what it stands for.
That was originally allowed or funded by a grant, right? And
It's federally funded.
And is that grant something that we're anticipating to continue to happen?
So far, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this will be our second year of it.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I left you some information as well on Genoa Healthcare Pharmacy. That is open now. It's in the eHeart Center, which is in front of the campus of mental health. And they're open now. Their hours and the information's in the little packet I gave you. Arches. Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and they're closed 12:30 to 1. It's open to everybody, not just mental health. And they're getting great response from of those people. The pharmacist is very friendly and very helpful. So that's a great addition. And another thing that's there is a flyer, and this is a ways off, September 12th is the annual Suicide Awareness and Remembrance Walk, and that is at Diamond Trail. And that is all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Roger.
Yep.
Gary?
Yes. So this morning, we had a personnel meeting here in the chambers here. Myself, Nathan, John and Jody. And the topic, basically what we covered this morning was discussed and looked at the options for a supervisor director over the sheriff work crew. And we're trying to make that fit so we can get a supervisor and get enough people to be on the work crew. So I don't know, John, if you want to explain that a little bit more. Last week, I attended the Michigan Aeronautics board meeting at the Sandusky Airport, and they had a great turnout. It was really interesting. I never realized all of the grants, the money that has to be divided up for different airports throughout the state of Michigan, how they go about that. And in that meeting, a couple of gentlemen got up and propose the needs they want for their airports throughout Michigan. And it was a good meeting. It was very educational. And I guess we kind of get wrapped up as Board of Commissioners in our whole county, but looking at what really goes into an airport, what it costs to fund them and how they operate. It was very, very educational. I really enjoyed it. From there, we went into one of the new buildings they put up in the last few years, and there's a manufacturer there now building airplanes. And I believe they said they build 9 to 12 airplanes each year, and they're all over. I think all over America. I think there was one even out of America they built for. And while we're there, we're having a meeting and we're trying to hear each person speak. They were trying one out, so we took a little break for a minute. But it's impressive. It was really impressive what they do out there. So I really enjoyed it. If you ever get a chance to go out and visit the airport, that would be great. We have a park board meeting tonight that's going to be held at the Evergreen Park. And I just got a few updates, what's taking place in our parks over the past few weeks. In Forester Park, they put new limestone down, graded it and brined it. And if you recall back a few months ago, I reported that we had electrical problem out there last summer. And we put new electrical into 52 different new sites, and they reported that we at our opening, and there's a campers there now, we had no problem with electrical, so that was good. Bids for the pavilion that I don't even know how many years ago we put that up, 5 or 6 years ago. We put it up and the paint didn't stick, and I don't know if it wasn't the right paint or the right water or whatever it was, but we're getting bids on that. And we also have some drainage problems out there. And Jim Bowerman in our buildings and ground is getting bids on what it costs to do that. Next, the Lexington camping reservations are up. By the way, camping reservations are up across all our park. It's good news. They had a good weekend, Memorial weekend, and end of my report on the park.
Thank you, Gary.
And end of my report, period.
Bill?
Yeah, a lot of campers in spite of the weather. Although the temperatures were pulling out early.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in Lexington, if you've been there, it kind of slopes down. So when it does rain hard, they really get it a little pretty tough. Anyways, we sit in our camper and kind of look out the window at them. Transportation met, the wash bay door has been changed. Senior fairs are going to be attending that in June, which we are in June already, hard to believe. Port Santa Marina has reached out to transportation to possibly provide rides to Lexington, because with the harbor shut down there, they're getting a lot of transients that are going to want to be staying up in Sand Lake, but still be able to go to Lexington and utilize some of the things that are available for the public down there. And they had another food drive, had 399 households they served at the food drive. And then lastly, check out the buses, because some of the buses now have new ads. They have a firm that puts the ads on the side of the buses and they make some money, generate some income off of that as well.
Is there a bus with your smiling face on it?
No,
No.
Somebody drove right into that first time they came out. Took a T-bone at the intersection. Turned out it was Gary. I also attended Blessing of the Fleet. If you've never been to that, Port Sanilac, that's a pretty cool event. They have some speakers there, talk about the history of the harbor, and there's boats there, band plays. They had a gal, I can't remember her name, sang the national anthem. It was really, really good. The veterans are all there because they go around, RVFW from Sanilac, they go around and do all the cemeteries that morning, and then they're down there doing their 21 gun salute, and just some really good stuff for the community. It makes you feel good about being a citizen in this great country. And then lastly, Nathan and I mentioned before, attended the Michigan Coastal Management Plan workshop, and then they've reached out to us and expressed an interest potentially of us trying to apply for creating some access at the end of our roads potentially. And we kind of thought maybe the whole board should be in on that. I'm not sure the process of what we have to go through, but there would be some potential grant writing or application process for that. I don't know if we as a board are interested in pursuing anything along that line. I know, what do we figure? There was like 6 to 8 roads maybe that might have access, if that.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was in that range.
So the people that were at that workshop, thought it was a good idea. And, whether funding would be provided, we have to do some legwork for that. I noticed some of the paperwork showed that there might be a requirement for some matching funds potentially, but Yeah, I know like where we live at the end of Custer Road, sometimes it's really accessible and other times it's not, just depending on how the lake's affecting that, what's going on with the shoreline there, but it is an area in the county that, in a way, it's kind of like a secret. Folks don't really know that you can actually get to the water at the end of the roads that do go down that way.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's something that to increase lake access would be something that seems like something we should pursue. How many roads would?
We pulled it up on
Yeah,
GS.
we're probably talking like 6 to 8, maybe at the most.
Well, we wouldn't have to do them all.
No.
Even if we could improve one or two.
Because you're gonna have obviously lake access in Port Sanilac and Lexington, and then it's like, do you want to do an outlier each way or something in the middle, or you could prioritize that way too.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to me like something that we should pursue. Now that the grant writing would fall on our shoulders, I suppose. I'm no expert grant writer. I mean, you have some experience with that. Was there any, I guess, if we were ever going to do something with match funds, that would be the challenging part.
Yeah, potentially if they have a requirement for that, scope of the project, also a timeline. I'm not sure. I think this round they were kind of pushing at the meeting we were at that there was a deadline for this round, but it doesn't mean that wouldn't be considered for potential future.
Well, I think like the Brownfield Board is a good example of something that wasn't being utilized and now it is. And I think what you guys have found is another opportunity that could be utilized to create improvement for, lake access, which is tourism. It's all those things.
Mhm.
So.
Anybody else have an opinion on that?
I can gather more information and send it out to the board if that's something you guys are interested. I share with Commissioner Sarkelli, so we better make sure a majority of the board's interested, because we don't want to spend too much time.
Oh, yeah, we don't want you guys spending time on it. So if anybody's
If the majority's
opposed.
interested, I'll gather more information and work with Commissioner Sarkelli.
We did get fed at the workshop though, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, just bringing that up, right? Yeah, there was.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was, what do we have? Blue Water Pizza, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Is that all, Bill?
Yes, that was it. Thanks.
Appreciate the report. Christine?
Last week I stopped at the Lexington Park because I hate to say this, I haven't been in that park. And it was purchased in 1965 and I was probably there in 67, 68. And when it was purchased back then, it was just a big open area. And as a young adult, I'm thinking, who would ever want to camp there? And I was just amazed of how nice it is. And I got a tour of the ranger's house, park manager's house and her office and everything. And they were busy mowing grass the day I
Oh, yeah,
was there.
two of you have a lot in common, right?
Both tall.
Bill.
No, she mentioned that to me. She's very fond of you.
It was
Yeah, she is.
Mm.
nice to
I
look
mean,
somebody
she
in the
stopped her
eye.
lawnmower and
Yeah.
she was glad.
Sherry said how wonderful it was to talk to somebody and look them right in the eye.
Yeah.
But when you go see Sherry down there, she steps up on the deck, so then she
Yeah.
can see you.
But yeah, I was quite impressed. I saw the bridge that they want to replace and I walked across that and
Mhm.
and there was a lot of campers in there and it was it was a little chilly that day. I didn't bring my jacket. That Brown City, I didn't need it, but boy, it was chilly out there.
What'd you think of the house?
It was nice. It was
Yeah.
done up nice.
You did a good job.
They did a real good job. She was quite proud of it and quite happy with it.
Mhm.
I designed that floor plan. The new part.
She was telling me where the original walls
Sand.
were and just different.
I have to go to court at the end of the month too.
You keep making those.
Just keep me out.
So
Like-
Chris, when us three start talking about your height, just say enough's enough. We've heard enough. We can.
No. I says, don't get the short one mad because she can take you out. And that's all I have to report.
Okay, thank you, Christine. Gary kind of you covered personnel well, Gary. We met this morning. We have something that's related to the work through. Nathan's gonna check on one thing, and then potentially send that on to finance in a couple weeks for all of us to review. And that's all I have. Evans?
I had HTC after our last meeting. That was just the normal banquet they have for all the workers. Thank you. I also had med control and Med control due to the upcoming changes to the MDHHS EMS medical director criteria. Our board had to approve Dr. Hammond as a new SMCA medical director effective June 1st. Dr. Starbird, who's been in that position, I think since '89 when he started it all, he's agreed to graciously stay on as a associate medical director in that position to help him out, help with the transition. And that's about it.
Good. Thank you, Evans. John?
Last Thursday at Community Corrections, we just talked about the budget quite a bit, and then the programs are all going really good right now. And the budget's doing really good. Just wanted to bring everybody's attention. Maybe you've seen it in the paper. I think there was a little bit of coverage in it last week. There'll probably be more this week about Corporal George Francis, my glasses on, Sepsi, a World War II veteran, a World War II soldier from Croswell that was officially accounted for in April of 25 after being missing in action for over 80 years. He was killed in action at the age of 24 in Papua New Guinea and was initially buried as an unknown. Following his recent identification by the Defense POW-MIA accounting agency, his remains have been returned, will be returned to Michigan Friday night. They're having a big get together Friday night at, I believe, the Post there.
American Legion.
They're working on I got an email about it. They're working on a motorcycle escort.
Yeah, they're gonna start at
They're-
Dorsey House. They're gonna work
They
to.
have police escort. They've got it all the way from Metro Airport.
There were two places you could join in at.
Friday at 5, I believe the plane comes in
5:15.
and Pomeroy's will pick them up and bring them back to Croswell.
Mhm.
But they've got it all the way along the route. They've got
Mhm.
law enforcement agencies to bring them home. So
All was
Can I-
announced when they get to Croswell, I think, Nathan, if you recall.
they're doing some,
They're gonna do a water.
yeah.
Or-
So it's gonna be, they're picking them up around 5 o'clock and then I'm figuring probably somewhere between 7 and 8.
Yeah.
I think the meet up at Dorsey was at 7.
Yeah.
And
And then,
Sound like takes over.
June 13th, from 11 to 1, there will be a showing and then the services at 1 o'clock. And then he'll be buried in the Croswell Mount Hope Catholic Cemetery.
Yeah, I got a text from the sheriff about that.
Yeah. So if anybody can make it down Friday night,
John, you're talking about that POW-MIA group. I've seen on social media in the last couple of years, they're finding a lot of people. They had no idea where and they start searching like in North and South Vietnam, they're finding the bones and bring them back. I think
I think there's already some stuff in works in Croswell to change park name maybe. And there was a couple other things too that they're looking at doing in honor of them, so. Friday night, if anybody's available.
I'll be there.
Very good. Anything further, John?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Appreciate everyone's committee reports.
John's cooking dinner for us that night.
Busy? You're buying
Probably was that time.
dinner, right?
Go get some chicken nuggets.
I see no unfinished business on our agenda, so that's gonna take us directly into new business. Today, we're gonna start out with FA 081-26, approval of current claims.
San Luis County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the payment of current claims identified on the accounts payable report dated May 26, 2026 for the general bank account in the amount of $289,672.94.
Support.
I have a motion by Finance Chairman Sarkella, supported by Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next up is FA 082-26, budget adoptions, amendments, appropriations, and transfers.
San Luis County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the following amendments and establishes the following accounts as listed.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sarkella, supported by Commissioner Eberlein. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next up is FA 083-26, adoption of GIS and data fee schedule.
San Luis County Board of Commissioners hereby adopts the San Luis County GIS map/data fee schedule as follows.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sarkella, supported by Vice Chairman Ballard. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next up is FA 84-26, authorization to dispose of a vehicle for the sheriff's office.
Salem County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes the Sheriff's Office to dispose of 2020 Ford Interceptor utility vehicle VIN number ending in 97514 with 116,400 miles. And upon completion of the sale, the proceeds are to be deposited into the Sheriff's Office Police Vehicle Fund. Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sarkella, supported by Commissioner Ehart. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Lastly, today in new business, we have FA 85-26, authorization to remove and replace the pumping system in the sheriff's office.
Salem County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes Lakeshore Improvements to remove and replace the 3-pump manifold system at the jail. The cost not to exceed $39,826.53 with funding from the inmate commissary fund for immediate approval.
Support. I have a motion by Commissioner Sarkella, supported by Commissioner Mooney. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. That's going to conclude new business. Are there any general public comments today? Seeing none, we will move on. There's no need for closed session or approval of closed session minutes. So if there's nothing further to come before the Board of Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at 1:59.
Support.
A motion by Commissioner Ballard, supported by Commissioner Lee to adjourn at 1:59. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
You have to share.
No, you're fine. I got that. I got her covered.
Thank you.